Buying a home anywhere near Dallas right now feels super unaffordable. Interest rates are high, home prices are high, and a lot of people are feeling priced out of the market right now. I'm Colin Slider with Real Broker, and today we're actually at the Overland Grove Community we mentioned previously by Century Communities, and this is the Brody model, so let's get into it. Now, this particular property is 3,204 square feet. It offers 4-bed, 3.5 bath. It's 2 stories, and it does have a 3-car garage, much like the Elliott model that we saw earlier. One of the things that really stood out when I walked into this home was not only the space, but also the lighting. Now, I mentioned lighting a lot in my videos, and it sounds kind of silly sometimes. And to be honest with you, the number of times I listen to my videos and hear myself saying it, it sounds silly. But the reality is that most of my private clients right now are looking for something that brings in a lot of natural light, but still has a lot of those energy efficient windows, which you're getting with a lot of these new builds. Sometimes when you purchase a home that is 20 years old or even 15 years old, those windows are going to be out of date. And so if you get a lot of natural light, it's going to heat up the house, rising your energy costs and stuff like that. And so that is one of the advantages to purchasing a new build, a spec home, anything in that ballpark, because you are getting a home that is as efficient as it can be based on modern standards, depending on what the builder went with. Now, on the last video with the Elliott model, we mentioned that there are some special promotions that are going on at Century Communities. They have a lot of rate incentives, all kinds of different things that you can take advantage of if you choose to purchase a spec home. Remembering that a spec home is, as you see in this video, what you see is what you get. Now, stay tuned for next week because we're going to actually have a video come out from another community where when you're walking through this model home, what you see is actually what you're going to get, different than the spec home. So they model their homes, and I won't reveal it just yet, but they model their homes based on how they build their spec homes. And so I thought that was pretty exciting because in my experience, typically when you're walking through a model home, they have a lot of nice flashy things, makes it look really nice, but then when they build the home or when you see a spec home in the same community, a lot of times the touches and the finishes aren't quite the same. Now, out this door to the left is that 3-bay garage like we mentioned. It does have the 2-car on one side and then the single bay on the other. That's super helpful if you're looking to do woodworking. If you need added storage, you could wall that off if you wanted to and make it a separate garage from the other two. Totally up to you. This property is yours, so you decide what you want to do with it. Now, I do want to mention that this particular home is currently under contract. It does have an active buyer on it, but if you're looking for homes like this model in this community or in communities around it, give me a call. I can help you find that particular home that you're looking for. Now, the great gas debate, I always mention it in my videos. This home is piped for gas, just like the Elliott model was. Obviously, if you're looking for electric, stay tuned because there are some properties that I did tour this week that do have electric as well. This had a pretty generous sized lot as well. The backyard was decent size. Again, coming from Arizona, somebody who started their career in Arizona, when I look at these backyards, a lot of times I'm quite surprised by the amount of space you get. There's a particular community I'm thinking of that I did a lot of business in Arizona with, and they built these homes that were actually pretty close to the size of this Brody model, which were about 3,100 square feet, but their lot sizes were super small. And so the nice thing about buying in Forney is that you're actually going to be able to get a little bit more space in the backyard depending on the model, depending on the community, and you're not paying all kinds of money to be able to do that. They're affordable prices. They've got special rate programs like I mentioned. Now, as I'm walking through a lot of these houses, I'm noticing just how nice it is to walk into a brand new home. Given that I've seen thousands of homes at this point, I've seen some really nice resale homes. People take very good care of them. And then I've seen a lot of homes that aren't in the best condition. The nice thing about walking through a model home or a spec home that's just newly built is that it's just that. There's never been an owner for it. It is newly built. All the touches, all the finishes, brand new. Everything's new. The only thing that might be slightly different than a home that you build from ground up to a spec home is that people have walked through this home, but a lot of the builders will have it cleaned before you purchase it. We're going to go up to the second floor now. Just like the Elliott model, this has a generous upstairs as well. It does match the footprint of the home very well, with the exception of just a little bit of space. It does have an alcove of bedrooms. It has a huge loft area. I really like this one. And so again, I like to walk through these model homes and kind of dream what this room could look like. I like to dream about what each of the rooms could look like if I purchase this home. It's kind of fun for me. Again, I see thousands of homes all the time, and sometimes homes have a bunch of furniture in it. Maybe they're decorated in ways that I wouldn't personally decorate, or my wife wouldn't personally decorate. But I like walking through these homes and really just imagining, especially when you have a blank slate like these spec homes, what could it look like? What colors would I use? What kind of window dressing would I do? What kind of furniture would go in this room? How would I split the room up? Because it is a pretty big size room. Now, this bedroom here actually has something that I mentioned in a previous video that I really liked, which was, you guessed it, the window in the closet, as you can see it off there. But this also had a bathroom in it too. Now, when you have these suites, it's kind of nice for guests. It could be nice for maybe an older child, or it could be nice just if you have a mother-in-law, father-in-law, or just somebody else that's living more permanently in the home. It's nice for them to have their own space. This particular bedroom did feel really generously sized. I didn't feel super crammed in it. Compared to some of the other bedrooms I've walked into recently, this one definitely felt like, you can move around, you could put a fair amount of furniture, you could have your dresser, your bed. If you wanted to put a chair in there for seating, you could definitely do that as well. Now, this is the alcove of bedrooms that I mentioned to you. There is a property in Phoenix. It was brought to you by a different builder. We were looking at it way back in 2017, and one of the things we really liked is this little alcove. I just imagined my children playing in it, having their own bedrooms in this area. It seemed really cool to me. It was called the Hitchcock model, if I'm not mistaken, but that was by a different builder. Anyway, the point being is that I like when they do this because it kind of tucks it away a little bit. The bedrooms here have their own bathroom. They've got their own closet space in the hallway. And they're decent sized closets too. I mean, you can put a lot into these closets: board games, towels, decorations, whatever you want. Both bedrooms, again, felt really big in this particular alcove. They didn't feel super small. I like that. I don't like to feel crammed in a bedroom, especially when I have different plans for what I want to do with that bedroom, whether it's going to be an office perhaps one day or a bedroom for somebody living in it. I like to imagine what it can be. Now, you might notice the smart thermostat. I've noticed in this community they have the smart thermostats on there. They also have a security system that you can opt into. Dueling sink in the bathroom. They went with very neutral colors in this home. I didn't think it was super bad. Again, a lot of this you're going to probably paint. You're probably going to change out some flooring over time. You might add decorations that really match it. So when you're looking at these spec homes, it's really important to keep in mind, hey, what you're looking at right now is subject to change when you purchase and move into the home, because all your furniture is going to be in there. Your decorations are going to be up there. It's going to change. So it's actually a little bit more helpful, in my opinion, having seen the number of homes I've seen, to have more of a blank slate to start with versus having, a bright green painted on the wall or something like that. Now, here's the backyard. Again, decent size. You could potentially put a pool back there. It is also good just to, put like a barbecue, or if you wanted to just build it out and put a small jacuzzi back there. Good enough for a playground. Here's the side yard. So again, big enough for that tractor we've mentioned before, so that they can come through and build your pool if you needed to. But I'm just always really impressed with the footprints of these properties. It amazes me how much space they can fit into these communities. Again, really generous amount of space for the price that you're going to get in this community. I'm going to show you the other side just real quick. They have the gates and the fencing coming all the way to the backyard. Some communities do it all the way to the front yard. It just depends. This particular community does it to the backyard. So you kind of have a better feel for what the overall backyard size is going to look like. Brick facade on the exterior. And we're going to go back in. Now, one of the last things I really want to mention is that when you're shopping for a home in a new build community, a lot of people ask me, hey, does it really matter if I have a realtor or not? I've spoken to a lot of my partners at these different communities, and they love it when I bring my private clients there so that they know that the buyer is actually getting represented properly. You know, the reality is that you're building a home in this particular property that you're going to buy, and when you're spending money on an asset this size, you want to make sure that you have somebody in your corner that's taking a look at everything and just making sure. I know there's been countless times when clients are finishing up the escrow process, they get towards the end, they're so overwhelmed by everything that it's helpful for them to have me in their corner so that I can make sure everything is still being dotted and crossed correctly. So if all this sounds good and you have more questions, feel free to reach out to me. My information is in the description below. You can get to my email address in my channel as well.